Scotty is a person who's a global speaker and writer with 2 bronze medals at the Kung Fu World Championship in China, rich base of experience spanning the business, technology and marketing worlds, coupled with his very bold opinions, has made its mark in local media and speaker circuits. He has appeared on TV countless times and has written dozens of articles. He's also a published author, including the captivating one-liner, and is currently the CEO of Majestic, which that's the website, and he's also done a TED Talk. Another screen says, "Are you a thought leader?" So he's a published author, an industry specialist, a game changer, and he's a passionate, he calls himself a serial podcast interviewer. And then finally, if you want to make contact with Scotty, like true to his word, his whole profile is driven by LinkedIn, and we are so privileged tonight to have Scott to introduce the topic to us. So I know Scotty now for quite a few years, and he's impressed me from day one with his passion for the topic. And a prolific speaker, and he grabs your interest and he keeps you riveted. And even a person who doesn't even know where to switch on a button from the computer, all of a sudden feels like, hey, you know what, I can do this, I need to do it. So what Scott has arranged to do for us, and he also loves what we're doing in Gig, is to, after tonight's talk, which will be just an introduction on the topic, and right at the end, you guys can are free to hammer him with some questions and some ideas for future talks. But then where we're going with this, Scott is going to help us through you to teach us how to use LinkedIn correctly, but we're all going to do it in synergy, working together to invite our friends towards Gig. But in doing that, you're going to learn generic skills that will also allow you to use it in your own personal business. So we're excited to have Scott guiding us through that, but that'll be the next talk. Tonight is just an introduction. So Scott, without any further ado, over to you.
I'm going to keep this, I really want to do this super simply. And yes, I'm full support of you, Jasper, and you know, for many years now, I'm always thinking differently, always out of the box, especially when it comes to money. And as you can see what's happening in the world at the moment, this kind of thinking is needed, but not just thinking, it's implementation. Not just ideas, it's doing. You know, it's not just thinking about something, but actually implementing it and making it happen. So congratulations on that, Jasper, and this whole great group of people that you've all built around you now. So yes, okay, so LinkedIn, right. First of all, 90% of LinkedIn is useless. And it's important to understand that, because it's very easy to get sucked in a black hole, down a trap, pulled into a vortex, whatever terminology you want to use, to understand that you can just be posting every day and you're just trying to, and you get 3 likes and you're so excited, and so much of your time gets made up doing stuff that is not going to help your business. How do I know that? Well, because I can tell you now, from thousands of people that I know and have worked with, they have many LinkedIn connections. How much business have they got from those LinkedIn connections? Usually it's 0 or a little bit above 0. So it's this connecting tool, but where does it go? And 90% of it, throw it out the window. So I'm going to show you, the first thing I want to show you in your LinkedIn profile is how to do the basics. Can you just very quickly, guys, tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being pretty useless and number 10 being an expert master, how technical are you? How well do you understand? And I don't mean 10 being a programmer, but really you love software. You've got lots of software systems. That's 10. 1, well, software. Oh my goodness. Technical. Oh, internet. Oh my gosh. No. How do I turn the thing on? So put it in the chat there quickly, please. Hey. So we have a 2 from Anolf. Thank you. 2. Sarah is 3. 5. 5. 5. A lot of 5s here. Anyone else? I'll give you 2 or 3 seconds. Thank you for your honesty, guys. if you're struggling to figure out how to put the number into the chat, then I'll say you're a 1. So okay, so here's the problem. The problem is that we tend to get too technical too quickly. And all you need to know about LinkedIn, or what I call the big 3: a fabulous photo, and I'm pretty sure you can all get yourself a fabulous photo, a beautiful background, and a brilliant bio. Those 3 things. And that's basically all you need. You don't have to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn posting and filling out your primary school and this people, and then this is a thumbs up from this person, or a thumbs up from another person, you know, and a recommendation here and 6. You don't have to do that. I'm going to show you a way that's much quicker and much easier. So if I share my screen, all right, you want to see how simple it is, because your connections are going to come from one-on-one. They're not going to come from anywhere else, really. And your conversations. So this is what I did. All I've done is I've said, here's my photograph. Here's a really nice background, fabulous photograph, and a beautiful background, and a brilliant bio. So in this case, the trusted network for trusted businesses and trusted people. So this is under my most trusted. Now I have 2 LinkedIn profiles, which you guys don't have to do. One is for my most trusted, which I'm going to be talking about today. And another one is for manage3.com, but the same profile. You must have a background. Now it's really easy. If you guys, if you don't have LinkedIn yet, just go to linkedin.com on another day. So open yourself a profile and just do those 3 things nicely. That's all you've got to do, guys. My bio is author of the captivating one-liner. That's it. Simple, simple, simple. Some people say you should do a bit more in your bio. Some people say you should put a bit more in it. I'm not really that fussed about it, because most of your relationships and the benefit that you're going to get is going to come from one-on-one conversations with your connections. Does that make sense, guys? Are you happy with that? So the big 3: a fabulous photo, and a brilliant background. Okay, I'm sorry, a beautiful background and a brilliant bio. That's all you need on LinkedIn. Don't be sucked into the vortex of posting every day and wasting time. You don't need to. Your productivity is going to come on LinkedIn through the connections that you have one-on-one using your chat and direct messenger, and also something called trusted connections. Okay, so I wanted to just quickly, guys, show you this and introduce you to those 3 things. So I want you guys to go into LinkedIn feeling happy and smiling and not worried. Now, a lot of people say, well, where do I get a background from? Well, you could get a designer to do it for you. It'll take them 5 minutes. If you've ever used a freelancer like Fiverr.com, they can do it for you very quickly. But actually what you can do is just go type in Google, cool LinkedIn backgrounds. It just brings them up for you. And you go to images, and you can just, there's so many of these that you can just steal. So easy. So that's at worst case. Why do you have a background? Even the reason you have a background is it shows you're professional, and it shows you care about your professionalism. And it's one of the first visual things that people see is your background. So your background and your photograph are very, very important, and then followed by a one-liner. Okay. Now this is where things get interesting. Everyone happy with that? Please feel free to post questions in the chat if you like. Right, now it starts to get interesting, because now I'm going to start to talk to you about some fun stuff, and I'm going to be switching between 2 because we've got a new version I'm so excited to show you about. Oh my gosh, I just realized, guys, you're the first people to see what I'm going to show you tonight with the new stuff. There's an event coming up next week where I was going to reveal it and then do a proper launch in 2 or 3 weeks. You guys are going to be the first people actually to see this new functionality. So I'll tell you about it when it comes up. You see, all the more reason to be really excited. Okay, so Jasper, how do you spell this? There he is. There's Jasper. Okay, Jasper, I'm hoping that you're on LinkedIn at the moment. Now, see what I've done here, right? Is I found you. Is that you? That's not you.
No, that's not me. Yep. There's quite a few Jaspers on the net.
Why are we not connected as well? Jasper. Can you do me a favor, Jasper? Would you mind? Yeah, Gig Wealth. Here he is. There he is. How's that moustache, man? Okay, so Jasper, this is really nice. Your life's calling. You've talked about Gig Institute. Your photograph is nice. You're only missing a background. Just imagine how much nicer your LinkedIn profile is going to be with the background. Okay, so Jasper, are you able to access LinkedIn? Because I'm going to connect with you now quickly so that I can use you as a bit of a guinea pig. Would that be okay? Or shall I just use someone else as a guinea pig? Is that okay? So I'm going to connect with Jasper by pushing the connect button. I can add a note to him. I'm not going to worry about that now. I just want to connect. Now, for those of you who've used LinkedIn before and know how it works, it will take a second to pull that data. Why is this gone blank? There we are. Oh, that's off. That's fine. And I'm just waiting now. Now, what Jasper's going to do, I've invited Jasper to connect with me. Jasper's got to now accept my connection request, and he's going to go from a second degree to a first degree. Now, what does that mean? A second degree means Jasper knows somebody that I know. So my first degree connections are people who have connected with me. My second degree connections are people who have connected with someone else. Like, for example, these 64 mutual connections. In other words, I'm not a first degree connection with Jasper, but there are 64 people we have in common on our LinkedIn profiles. Kelly West, Frans van der Walt, and 62 others. So there's a strong connection there. So we do know each other in real life, but there's a lot of mutual LinkedIn connections there. Right, so I'm going to, okay, so lack of photo. This is a really nice photograph, professional, smiling, awesome. This is great, simple about, just gets a nice little background, but this is really, really nicely done. So what I'm going to do now is this little tool on the side here is something we've developed, and we did it so we can facilitate trusted connections and the connections. Now, this is really going to be some cool stuff we're going to show you. LinkedIn per se is not the brightest. Now, a topic for another time is I'm going to show you on your LinkedIn profile how to reach out to people who are interested in gig, and it's all going to be done for them. The invitation is going to be done. The whole lot's going to be done. But before I get to that process, I want to quickly show you how to add to trusted connections. So he looks like a trustworthy fella, and we've just met today, so I trust him. So there's a button here called Add to Trusted Connections. Now, don't worry about the technical side, guys. Look at what I'm doing, not how I'm doing it, and why that I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to send him a quick little message saying, I trust this person. This is our piece of software, this little cute little thing that sits on the right here. Okay, now what I've done is I've added, open up here, I've added Cundill to my trusted connections, and he is now in my trusted connections. He would pop up if I search for him. Let me see if I can actually show you, see if he pops up. While it's doing that, it's actually brought, there he is. Okay, so he's part of my trusted connections. This is a separate database. Okay, now this is important, guys. LinkedIn, with most people's LinkedIn profiles, you have lots of LinkedIn connections, but you know and trust very few of them. Yes, but do you know how many LinkedIn connections you've got? And how many do you know and trust of those, would you say, as a percentage?
Look, I know it's more than 500. It's probably approaching 1,000 now. But who I actually know and trust, maybe 100.
There we go. So probably 10%. So this is the problem. So what we're doing is we're creating another database, because you've got all these people you don't know. So we're creating a new database of people that you do know. Okay. So I've just sent him an invite. Don't worry, you don't have to act on it now. You can act on it later. But I want to show you what happens. Now, because I've now added Cundill to my trusted connections, I only care about people Jasper knows. I only care about people Cundill knows. I don't care about the rest of his connections. He doesn't know them, right? But what do we want at the end of the day? Who can tell me this? I'm going to stop for a second. Who can tell me this? What is the best type of business you can ever get? The best kind of business?
Referral business.
Okay. Quick little question. Is it proper to have a pic of a firm I work for as my background? Absolutely. You can do that. It's perfect. So referral business. So what are we trying to get here, guys? Referrals. That's what we're looking for, referrals. Now, what I'm about to show you sounds like the most logical, obvious thing in the whole world, but no one is doing it. It's called proactive referrals. In a normal world, right? Jasper and I, and Cabela, because he's done it now. So let's say the three of us are mates. We're having a beer and we've just watched the rugby, the Springboks have won. And we sit down and go, okay, guys, we've had our fun. Let's do business. We each take out our notepad and pen and we write down 20 people that we know, clients, friends, etc. Each of us. And then what we do on a piece of paper, and then we rotate the piece of paper. So I give the 20 people I know to Cabela, Cabela gives it to Jasper, Jasper gives his to me. And I look at those people and I circle the ones that look very interesting to me, people I would love to meet in business, right? And I go, gee, I'd love to meet these three people. And the circle of pieces of paper goes around. We take those circles of pieces of paper and we end up with 6 or 7 people each. And that we want to meet, and we whittle that down to 3 people each. Now, this is called proactive referrals. Cabela goes, yeah, sure, I can introduce you to this person, Scott. I didn't know you wanted me to introduce to him. And I go, I didn't know you knew this person, but he's perfect for my as a potential client. Great. Let's work out a really gentle, honest, authentic way that I can introduce you. That's how business gets done. And that's how it was done for hundreds of years in those little smoky bars. It used to be back 100 years ago where all the men used to get together, rah, 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 smoke their cigars, and they would chat about it and they would do these little introductions, right? And that's like what happened. And then over the ages now, everybody gets together, of all people get together in networking events and groups. But the problem is we meet people too quickly and we don't really get to know them. What we're doing here is I get to see Cabela's trusted connections. So when he adds a few trusted connections to his profile, I can see them. And by adding him to my trusted connections, if he goes on right now, he can see all of my trusted connections. And because LinkedIn is amazing with data, you can see Lauren Erasmus, LinkedIn campaign specialist. We help companies build marketing strategies. Paris Cutler, Ernst & Young, hailed award-winning entrepreneur, brand architect, strategist. Ali Skylar, unique pinpoint your brand differentiator. These are all people I know. Now, Jasper's looking at this going, man, I would kill for an introduction to Ali. So what he does is this little tool means we don't have to get together in a smoky room, and we can do it online. And what he can do is he can just go push this little button, introduce, and we can introduce 2 people to each other. Right. So you will go to my network.
Okay, there's something here. I see there's a, let me just wait.
It should say, and then it should say Scott. I did it just now actually with do you see that?
I see Scott there, invitation. I click on Scotty and
there should be a button saying accept or connect.
Accept, there we are. I've accepted you.
Aha. So now we have a 2-way connection. Not yet, just waiting. Still not saying.
Well, on my side, it says invitation from Scott accepted.
Ah, there we go. LinkedIn does this sometimes. Guys, LinkedIn is useless. I'm telling you, it's 1989 flipping interface. But the data and certain things about it are unbelievably good. It's just having the courage to throw away all the nonsense and use the good stuff. Well done, Jasper. Now, if you're all watching this, we now have 2 first-degree connections. Jasper is a connection. Cabela is a connection. Okay, so I'm now going to go to Jasper, and I'm going to go into my little app. And again, the technical side we can worry about another time with training, and we'll get there another time. But I go to add to trusted connections. You refresh because it hasn't read him as a LinkedIn connection. Yeah, add to trusted connections. See, there's a big button saying, I trust this person. Yes, I trust this person. I send him a little message. It builds a message for me. I click send. Again, guys, don't worry. All I'm doing here is I'm sending him a quick message. You don't have to worry about the technicalities. I want you to think about what's actually going on here. How we do it, anybody can be trained on technology. Why are we doing it? That's a different story. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly sort by most recent first. So do you see I've got 3? Now there's Jasper. Now Jasper has used this before. Now Jasper's got a 4 next to his name. That means Jasper has got 4 trusted connections that he knows and trusts. I can view, let's have a look. Who's excited to see Jasper's trusted connections? So Jasper, okay, so yes, I'm guessing you know all these 4 people, don't you, Jasper? Zanele, Gavin, Steve, and Scotty. You definitely know this guy.
I know that last guy, yes.
And these 3?
No, I do know them.
There we go. So that's somebody that you either added them last time or they added you. So what happens now is I can go and I can say, wow, this Steve Petzer guy, you know, the owner of Cater Consult. Wow. Okay, brilliant. I want to chat to this guy. I'm going to request an introduction. So I push request an introduction and I go, why do you want to be introduced? I think there are excellent synergies and I want to work with consultants. Any terms and conditions? I'll give you a 10% referral fee. Hypothetically, guys, I'm just saying this as an idea. You don't have to put that. Most connections and introductions, it's done out of love and respect. It's not done for money. But there's nothing reason you can say no. So I'm saying to Jasper, if you introduce me to Gavin and I do business with Gavin, I'll give you 10%. Steve, sorry. See, so now I've now done an introduction, and in a few minutes, sorry guys, I'm probably going to get all kinds of nonsense spam in my inbox. Hopefully you guys are not going to be subjected to that. But in a minute, it just takes about a minute, I'm going to get an email. There we go. Now look at this email that I've received. I'm in CC'd on it. Hi, Jasper. My most trusted network is for trusted businesses and trusted people. We love facilitating business introductions like this one. Scott Cundill would like to be introduced to Steve Petzer. Here is the reason. I think there are excellent synergies and I want to work with consultants. This introduction cannot be concluded without your permission. Please log in, So what it's done now is it's sent an email and we're all CC'd on it. Now Jasper can agree to accept or decline and go, yes, Scotty, let's chat. I'll introduce you. It's totally up to him. I'm not going out to Steve without Jasper's permission. So do you see what I've managed to do here, guys? I've just got a referral. I didn't wait for Jasper to give me a referral. I went out and proactively got a referral from Jasper. And now I get to meet Steve if Jasper agrees.
It has come through on my side. I'm just waiting for it to be downloaded. Then
you can do it. Excellent.
So
meanwhile, believe it or not, guys, as far as this piece of technology and what I want to show you today is almost finished. I've almost shown you everything. There's lots and lots and lots more to show you. But as far as tonight goes, this is the power. There's 2 things that you could do. Number 1, I get to see Jasper's. Now, I've got other people in here who have got lots. Look at Lauren. She's got 97 trusted connections. I can go to 97 trusted connections and find out who she knows. She knows Ian. Oh, my heart.
All right, Scotty, just on my side, I clicked that link. I wanted to reply to you, but then it takes me to your majestic.com site where I first have to download stuff.
Yes. Okay. So don't worry too much about that now. The easiest way to do it is just reply to all in the email because I'm CC'd on the email. But that's it. We can talk about that separately. But the best thing is now you know that I would like the introduction, so we can just talk via email or by WhatsApp. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that you know that I want to be introduced to Steve.
Okay.
So we'll talk about how to do that later because there is another one. I didn't want to get into this much detail, but there is a referrals tab, and Jasper Kluti, you'll be able to click on this button and you'll be able to accept inside the app, but you don't have to do it now, Jasper. It's okay. This is where it all happens. But really what I want to show you guys, most important, are these 2 things. So my trusted connection. So did you see what I did there, guys? So if I go to Mark Jarrett, I use this button to view my trusted connections and I can request introductions. And I've already requested introduction to Steve. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing I can do is I can introduce 2 people to each other. So I'm going to introduce Kabele. Okay. I'm going to introduce him to Jasper. So I search for Jasper into my trusted connections. Here's Jasper. And, right, see, there he is. Now, there's a button here called introduce. Who do you want to introduce Jasper to? This handsome gentleman there. Explain your introduction. I think you two will get on brilliantly. No terms, only love. There we go. Introduce, recommend. Beautiful. Okay. Now, do you see the difference, guys? There's two different things you can do. Number one, you can introduce two people to each other. I've just introduced two people I know, right? And trust to each other. Pretend they didn't know each other. Sorry, not Steve. This would obviously be Jasper. Let me go. There we are. I've introduced Steve and Cundill and Jasper together to each other. So that I've introduced. Or I can go and I can ask for a referral. And I can see what Jasper, who his trusted connections are, and I can ask for a referral. This means that your business can go crazy. Here's the email that's come. Hi, Cundill. My most trusted, facilitates quality business referrals and introductions. Scott Cundill would like to introduce Jasper Klututua to you. This is the reason. I think you two will get on brilliantly. Here is the LinkedIn profiles for the two of you. Jasper is CC'd on this email. Please introduce yourselves and make business magic together. Cool, eh? And I've just introduced two people to each other. And it's, of course, got a record of it. So if I go to referrals, here's Scott Cundill introduced Jasper to Cundill. I've just introduced you guys. So we do events. All this is free, by the way, everything I've shown you. We do events where we break out into breakout rooms. And we go into those breakout rooms and we go into breakout rooms, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people. We get to know each other, look at each other's trusted connections, and choose who we want referrals. It's like an online version of the after the rugby match where the example I gave earlier, where you're writing names on a piece of paper. But instead of writing names on a piece of paper, this is a better way. And there's a process now. So Jasper, under referrals, if you were to click on these 3 dots, you can actually accept and say, yes, I'll introduce you to Steve. When or if that happens, I will be able to get access to Steve's details. I can then reach out to Steve, or Jasper will do an introduction for me. This is a game changer from a business perspective, because it means if you desperately want to get into Coca-Cola, you can find people in Coca-Cola and you can see who knows them. Okay, good. Right. Okay. So you see what's happening. We're facilitating introductions and referrals. So if you guys were to put your trusted connections in this and connect to Jasper as a trusted connection, he can see all of your trusted connections and reach out and go, Pinky, I think this person, your friend, your brother-in-law, whoever it happens to be, might be introduced in good for the gig trust. Will you introduce me? Pinky goes, yeah, sure, let me introduce you, and then you'll introduce you. Maybe Pinky goes, no, sorry, I don't, yeah, it's a sensitive client or something like that. But it does, you're getting to know each other and you're helping each other in that way. Now, watch this now. If I go to my trusted connections, all right, and I'm going to go, for example, to, let's take one of Gareth's, someone that I don't know. Actually, do know Jono, but I'm going to, okay. Let's say I happen to be on Jonathan Holton's LinkedIn profile, right? Look what happens. Bing, this pops up. It's called a trusted connection alert. Jonathan Holton is a trusted connection of Gareth van Rensburg. Right, now, LinkedIn is very good for sales prospecting because you can go and say, who is the managing director of Coca-Cola? Who are the directors of Coca-Cola? You can see their LinkedIn profiles, etc. But seeing their LinkedIn profiles and getting a meeting or getting a connection is a totally different thing. So just imagine that you knew somebody who knows that person. So if I really want to meet Jonathan Holton, really want to get to meet him, it's just told me that Gareth van Rensburg knows him. Now, in this example, I know who Gareth van Rensburg is because he's one of my trusted connections. Okay, which is fine. Understood, no problem. He's one of mine. So I can say, Gareth, please can I have an introduction to Jonathan? However, in many situations, it's not. I don't know that person, which means that I would go to Gareth van Rensburg. I would reach out to Gareth and say, hey, Gareth, you're part of my most trusted. I'm part of my most trusted. We might have met in one of the events. I'm not sure. Let's connect, get to know each other, because I would like an introduction to Jonathan Holton. But because we're in the same network, there's nothing wrong with me reaching out, and they will say, we're both part of the same network, we connected, let's chat. So in other words, I'm going to become friends with Jonathan's friend so I can meet Jonathan.
I want to just put it in perspective for people where we're going with this whole thing. So guys, Scott has built a massive business international, and what you may not know is throughout this COVID period, he spent the bulk of that in Bali and still ran his international business. And now he's in Ireland. I don't know where you were in between Bali and Ireland, but I know you're a bit of a nomad. The point is, in the time that we live in, with these kind of tools, you're no longer tied down to a locality. And it's important for us to know how to use the tools. And then where Scott is excellent in is also to use the psychology behind the tools. Now we'll drill into the psychology, and we'll drill into this most trusted network software that he has developed that will help us to just move forward much faster. But Scott, I think let us just quickly lay the foundation of our next meeting. And the next meeting then is about how does this apply to gig? So we can all focus on gig. And what do we need to have in place for gig for that session so that all of us can walk away from that next session using gig as the example, and how to introduce gig to our own networks that we have on LinkedIn, in our social networks. But in doing that, what we learn by doing that will automatically be applicable in our own businesses, whatever the nature of the business is.
So this is how it's going to apply to gig, and this will be in a later session. All right, and I'm going again. Don't worry about the technology. Just look at what I'm doing. This is going to be, we're going to do one like this for gig. Right now it's called Fempreneur, LinkedIn Outreach. There are 20 ladies right now who have installed the software and this special customized version. So just pretend it's not Fempreneur, pretend this is gig. Each one of you can install this. And all those ladies are doing now is promoting the Fempreneur Outreach program. And I'll show you how easy it is. All they're doing is they're clicking a button, and they're using their LinkedIn profiles to reach out to their networks on LinkedIn. And obviously they're looking for females. Okay, so Jackie, connect. I click connect, look, it builds the message for me. So when you guys use this for gig, it's already built the message. You don't have to go, oh, what do I click? Oh, now I have to type. Oh, now I have to click on this. It's all done for you. It's going to require a little bit of training, but all you do is you just follow the process. I call it FPP. Follow the process, princess. Because princesses love having everything done for them. They don't want to do any work, so we try to minimize the amount of work. Now they click connect. See, I now reached Jody, and one by one, they're reaching out with this really, really nice message. And then they follow it down the process. So they're going to go from invitations down to acceptances. And there's a little process that you move people down. So for gig, we're going to show you how to use LinkedIn to reach out to people. Final point before we go to the questions, Jasper. If there's 9 people other than me on this call right now, LinkedIn allows 100 invitations per week. If the 9 of you use your LinkedIn profiles properly and you follow the process for 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week, 100 times 9 is 900. That is 900 LinkedIn invitations per week you will make. In other words, you're going to become an army. And that army can go out and start pushing and driving and building awareness and getting people into the gig family. And all the messages are going to be written for you. And it's all going to be done and prepared for you.